It's important to do things that are not easy. It's really important. It's like if you want real peace, peace doesn't come from rest. Peace comes from struggle. Peace comes from challenge. It comes from being excited about something, doing something difficult, figuring out you could do it, building resilience. Building resilience is so important. It's so important because there's just too many people that are afraid of resilience. They're afraid of confrontation. They're afraid of anything that's difficult, anything that's struggle, anything that's going to test them. They're scared of it. They don't want that discomfort. But that discomfort is when you find true peace.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. It's true, right? Everyone's like, your struggle. Having stuff isn't fun. Getting stuff is fun, right? It's not the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness of the pursuit, right? It's that thing, and it's not like, the self-help. It's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not either the journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey.
You get the choice. You can either grow or be comfortable. You can't do both though. You choose. People think, I want to grow and I want to be comfortable. That is not the way life works. See, there has to be some type of exchange. See, by me growing, I'm giving up comfortability. For me to stay the same, I'm going to be comfortable. Nothing in this life, nothing in this physical universe ever came to be the same. Nothing. Everything's constantly evolving. So when you know this, being uncomfortable, being uncertain, this is a part of growth. It is a part of development. So I don't look at it from a negative perspective. I just say, this was built into the game. This is how it is.
Until you die, your defeat, it's all up here. It's psychological. You woke up this morning, your arms work, your legs work, you're breathing, your brain works, you're listening to this. That means your ear works, you're processing information, you're alive, you're mobile. What is failing really if you have the opportunity to wake up and try it again? Stop calling it failure. Stop calling it defeat. Well, I tried to go this way. That didn't work. All right, I'm gonna try to go this way. Oh, well, that didn't work. I'm gonna try this way. And I'll take 150,000 different routes trying until I figure it out, but you're alive, that means you're winning. Defeat isn't here, it's not real. You haven't lost yet, okay? So go out today and act like it. Go out today and act like it with the belief that, I'm gonna try this route. And this route's gonna be the one that goes for me. And if it doesn't, then you wake up tomorrow and you try again.
Hey, listen, let's be real. You won't always be motivated, but you have to learn how to be disciplined enough to keep going.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about? What do you want?
I love thinking about the quote, every guy essentially has two lives, and the second one starts once you realize you only have one. I like that a lot because it's so true. I mean, you've only got one shot at this, so you may as well at least make it kind of cool.
And that's what the great ones do. They marshal and harness their resources, their mental focus, their physical energy, their personal willpower, their individual gifts, their time, and they focus them on just a few things. And I want you to think about it in your life. You stripped away all the noise, you focused on the signal, you stripped away all the complexity, you got monomaniacally concentrated on just a few things. Of course, you'd be brilliant at those few things.
Everybody wants to feel like a winner. Everybody wants to feel like a winner. So how do you get the winning feeling? Simple answer, you win. Okay, how do you win? Well, you cross the finish line first. Now, fortunately in life, what successful people do, and I learned this after many years, it's so important, is they set up finish lines for themselves that they can cross. And so if you complete a task of any value, it's like winning a little bit, and you feel like a winner. You start, you work, you complete the task.
Silence the voice of doubt within you. Let your actions speak louder than your fears. Your dreams are built on the thoughts you choose to believe.
90% of your self-doubt is the result of a lie, that you overestimate the degree to which other people are noticing or observing your actions or behaviors. It's called the spotlight effect. It says that we think everyone is looking at us and focusing on us, when in reality, everyone is just focusing on themselves. No one is looking at you. No one really cares about the things you're doing because they're just concerned with themselves. So it's a reminder, there's no one to impress. You don't have anyone to impress with your actions or decisions or the things that you're doing. The only person you need to worry about impressing is yourself. So remember that the next time you're paralyzed by inaction, the next time you're paralyzed by self-doubt, no one really cares about you. That should be liberating. That should encourage you to live according to your values, your principles, to just be you.
The bloodline breaker is you. It's any person, you're qualified to be one, and so am I, and I don't care what anyone else says, that decides they want to break the generational curses and the crap and the shit they've had going on in their family, genes, and bloodline. It's gonna take you getting pissed off. It's gonna take you getting stirred up. Grab the rearview mirror, point it in your direction. Is that who you're supposed to be? If it's not, you can make a decision today to be the bloodline breaker in your family, and I promise you, you can literally curve history just by waking up at this moment.
Life's not fair. There is plenty of uncontrollable luck that deeply impacts our lives. Where we are born, who we are born to, and the circumstances of our early childhood all have an outsized impact. Bad people win and good people lose, all the time. But within that dark context, there are bright spots. The opportunity playing field is leveling. The world may never be truly fair, but it will always belong to those who make the most of what they have before them. Be grateful for what you have and make the most of today.
I want to make sure everybody knows that they're enough. No matter what they go through, what they've been through, that they are enough. The number one cause for anything is people not knowing that they're enough. They feel like they're not enough. Just because you have some bad chapters doesn't mean your story can't end well. And every story has bad chapters. It's about you finding the strength to turn the page. And so hold on to that in your struggle, in your journey, in your pain. And then turn your pain from your worst enemy to your best friend. Do that. Use pain on how to use you.
Time and consistency is a powerful combination because the passing of time is already an absolute. And now it's up to you to do a little bit every day. Just understand that doing a little is not hard, but you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. And whether you choose to do it or not, the time will pass anyway.
If you aren't willing to give it your all, if you're not willing to go 110% and just to give up, you're doing nothing but wasting your time. Understand that the path to success is not going to be easy. You're going to suffer. You're going to face hardship. There are going to be days where you don't feel like moving forward. But if you're able to push through it, if you're willing to give it everything you got to achieve your goals, you will achieve success. If you acknowledge that the path is going to be easy, but are willing to commit yourself to giving it your all, to giving it 110%, I guarantee that you will achieve your goals.
Don't quit. You've come so far already. Look back at the beginning. See how much ground you've covered. It wasn't easy, right? But you did it.
I'm all about perspective because I truly believe if you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. How you view what you do impacts and affects how you do what you do. Perspective is everything. You can either look at mistakes and mess-ups as hindrances and roadblocks, or you can look at mistakes and mess-ups as opportunities and ways to grow and learn, right? And when you shift your perspective, the way that you navigate those things, the way that you deal with them, the way that you go through them, changes drastically.
Up one and you can chew, and then chew like go. All of your growth will come from pushing beyond your current limit.
And life is tough sometimes, but you are making it. And that there is a reason that you are going through what you're going through. Wherever you are in your life is where you're supposed to be. And it's part of your journey. And I believe you know that this all ends really, really well. It can be tough right now. It all ends really, really well.
We say we want to get better. We say we want to learn about this or that. We say we want to make a change. We say we've decided to get serious. But is this true? Stoics had an expression, acta non verba, deeds, not words. So it's ironic that most of us say we want to make these improvements, but we can't or won't do the bare minimum.
In life, you either change intentionally or you change by crisis happening in your life. Most of the time we change because of a girl broke up with us, somebody ripped us off, you got backstabbed, you lost everything. You change because shit hit the fan, right? The guys that change intentionally, you're almost like, but he's not the same. You don't see him for 6 months. And he's changed again. If you can change intentionally without crisis happening to you, you're ahead of everybody by 99% of people you're ahead of. It's not even a question.
Those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. You have to take the risk.
It always looks impossible when things change. It always feels impossible when that thing ends. It feels so impossible. But only when you keep telling the old story. Because in the old story, you can't see the vision. You can't feel it. In the old story, you'll do the old actions and you can't imagine a better future, but that's your job. Job one, each day bring the best of who you are and move in the next right direction of integrity for you. You don't have to know all the steps. Move in the next right direction. Always be moving in the right direction of integrity for yourself. And if you can do that faithfully over and over and over again, you keep growing. If you stop growing, you just got stuck in an old story, stuck in an old pattern, stuck in old thoughts and concerns and worries. And of course, mired in that, you can't see and you can't move.
And we're just focusing on getting to the finish line. We end up underappreciating and really disrespecting the process of where we're at right now. And sometimes where you're at right now, it might be a low, and that's why you're looking to the finish line so much. But that low is a weakness, and we should be patient in that weakness because there's an opportunity to learn and grow right there. You never grow from crossing the finish line because that's where we grow, develop, evolve, get better. But it's so easy that when you're in the hard, you just want the easy. So it's tough, but learning how to truly be patient in that weakness, I believe it's a hard thing to do, but it is transformative.
If you just focus on, okay, every single day I'm just trying to be the best I can in that day. It's not about being perfect. Like we always say, progression over perfection. Every single day I'm just trying to get up and be the best I can for that day. And I'm gonna keep on doing this over a long period of time. What do you think will happen? If you do that for a long period of time, I'm talking 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, what do you think will happen? Where do you think you will be? Every single day, you just try to make the most out of that day. One step at a time, one moment at a time, 1% at a time. Think about where you'll be.
Whether it is a missed opportunity, a breakup, a stupid decision, an embarrassing mistake, or simply just an unfortunate event, there's something in your past that is continuing to weigh on you. And it is seriously affecting the way you're able to simply operate on a day-to-day basis. Why is that? And how do you fix it? But before we even get to that, you must understand one simple thing. Your past is your story. And the reality is, eventually this dark shadow that continues to haunt your mind will eventually become the very stepping stone that brings you closer to the version of yourself that you strive to be.
World will see you as you see. People think that the world sees you a certain way and that that's how you are, and then you have to change it. That's not how it works. When you see yourself a certain way, the world respects that and sees you that way as well. And that goes for your habits, your lifestyle, or anything that you're trying to work on. We create the image that the world accepts, and other people think that the world tells us what to be. And I think there is two classes of people, right? You have a class of people that understand, like, no, f you, I'm gonna become what I want to become. And that's the small percentage. And the rest of the percentage, the world tells them no 3 or 4 times. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna take my place over here, be little and be small, live small, you know, and just be a regular person. And, you know, then they're like, why is my life like this? Well, bro, because you're not seeing yourself as the way you should be. And if you can't see yourself that way, then you need to build yourself into someone you can see that.
Some days, it's not about having all the answers or making huge strides forward. Some days, the win is just showing up. You don't need to be at your best every single day to make progress. You just need to stay in the game. Progress is made in the moments that you keep going when your mind is telling you to stop. Don't overthink it. Just show up for yourself today, one step at a time.
Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're gonna figure it out.
It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. I know plenty of people that are capable. I know fewer people that are willing.
Know that any experience that you've ever had in your life act as a brake on your potential, because there's hundreds of thousands of people who've had it worse than you could ever dream of, who've gone on to accomplish wonderful things.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good, then you like it. Then people ask how you found your passion. Answer: by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
I am no longer going to be watching any football, and I'm no longer going to have Netflix at all. And that is what I'm giving up for 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's what I'm sacrificing. And I think a lot of people create these to-do lists when, in my experience, it's been so much more useful to write down all the things that I'm willing to sacrifice. Because if you sacrifice everything, there's nothing left than to do the one thing that matters. Most of everyone who's listening to this who isn't achieving what they want is with their time. They think that they're spending all their time working, but you don't even know how to work. I'm being really real with you. Like, you think you know how to work, you don't know how to work. And I'll measure this by, like, what is your output? It's probably not as high as you think. And so rather than trying to learn all these productivity hacks, the ultimate productivity hack is no. N-O.
Where would you be if you observed and judged your own behavior the exact same way that you observe and judge other people's behavior? They watch people do things and they're like, why do they act that way? Why do they make those decisions? Do you ever stop to ask yourself those questions? What if you gave yourself the criticism that you so easily dish out to other people? You got no problem being the armchair quarterback of everyone else's day-to-day lives, but you don't stop to look yourself in the mirror. If you question your own behavior, your own thoughts, your own decisions, just like you do everyone else, I guarantee you're going to find a lot of problems that you're going to want to solve. Problems that if you solve them, you could change your whole life. And you're never going to figure any of that out if your eyes are on everyone else. You're going to spend your whole life focusing on problems that you can't solve.
At a point, you just have to start doing it for a love of the game. I've said this many times before. Living a life of fulfillment and purpose is war. And to be more specific, spiritual war. But also, it doesn't mean it has to be this dreadful thing. Like, yeah, it can certainly be treacherous, there's no doubting that. But there's also kind of a beauty there. Something like a dance or a hauntingly beautiful poem. So like, yeah, it can be hard sometimes, but now such a statement seems so shallow.
If you're listening to me right now and you can hear these words and you're somebody that struggles with self-doubt or imposter syndrome, I'm going to tell you something. The research about confidence is very clear that confidence isn't a feeling. You don't feel confident. Confidence, the definition I want you to really embrace and live by, is the willingness to try. Because every time you try, especially in the face of doubt, you are displaying that you believe in your ability to survive whatever happens next. And so it's in the trying that you show yourself that you are capable of trying something and failing. And what makes you feel full of doubt and imposter syndrome is that you sit in your head and tell yourself you can't. And every day that you wake up and you don't do the thing, whether it's going to the gym or asking that person out, stop doing that. Stop. And the second that you take action in a different direction, you start to see yourself differently.
Insert emotion. I'm nervous, I'm excited, I'm whatever. I was like, if you weren't, I'd be worried about you. Because this is a serious commitment. And so the fact that you're nervous or the fact that you're afraid makes you just like everyone else who succeeds. But you know what you have in common with a lot of people that absolutely change their lives? They say the same thing. You associate this negative feeling with being the successful person they want to be.
That's not an easy task because we all are trying to be something, but we already are that something we're trying to be. That doesn't mean you can't be better, but it's like accepting and appreciating what you really are. And instead of projecting, something else, takes a lot of pain out of your body to take. It gets a lot of fears to just disappear. And I don't have an easy path for that. I think it's the hero's journey. What is it? Your life is ordinary and everything seems fine, and then something hits you, and that's the call to adventure. It doesn't feel like a call. It feels like somebody in your family's got cancer, or it feels like, COVID and somebody shut down your business, or, some issue that's happening in your relationship with your kids. But if you take the call and you go on the journey, you're gonna meet some new friends, you're gonna find some new mentors, you're gonna battle with internal things within you and external things. But if you keep going, you're gonna eventually slay your dragons and you come out the hero of your own life, and you have something to share. It's not something you read somewhere, it's something you've lived. It makes life really, really beautiful.
Becoming closer to your vision, becoming the person that you strive to be, does not demand perfection, but rather the persistent and pure desire for better and for good. It's easy for us to get hyper-fixated on not making a mistake or not making a wrong turn. When we start to overanalyze and paralyze ourselves with fear or doubt, it makes us hesitant in the way we pursue action. And hesitancy is not good. These mistakes, these failures, these wrong turns ultimately do not matter. The only thing that is demanded of you in order to make the changes that you want to make is the pure and persistent desire to be better and to be good. And this, paired with time, anything can be.
You see this? An hourglass. It's a perfect reminder of how time flows. The sand at the top, that's the future, completely out of your control. Sand at the bottom, that's the past, already gone. But this, the flow in the middle, that's the present, and that is where life happens. You can't speed it up, we can't slow it down. All you can do is focus on this moment.
One of the things that I like to teach people when there's a problem, and we all have problems, not all of us can deal with the world and war, but we can deal with our own problems. When a problem comes up, one of the best things to say is, all is well, everything is working out for my highest good, and out of this situation, this so-called problem, only good will come, and I am safe. And this is something that's very powerful. All is well, everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. And what that does, it quiets your mind down.
You cannot grow. You cannot mature. You cannot get better. You can't become anything of value to yourself or to anyone else if you shut the door to regrets. Now, you don't let regrets drag you down. You don't let them destroy you. All right, I've talked about this before. You don't let the man that you used to be destroy the man that you are today or the man that you're trying to be today. All right? But balanced regret is what helps you become a better man. Unbalanced guilt is what destroys you. Unbalanced guilt of who you were and what you were in the past or today destroys you. Balanced, open-eyed, thoughtful regret of poor decisions you made in the past is what helps you build and become better and become stronger. That is that check valve that helps you not make that decision again.
Make a promise and keep it every single day of your life, and you will no longer be afraid of yourself. The fear only comes from uncertainty, and if you don't know what to expect from you, that's what gets you in trouble. If you're a thoughtful person with strong intention, it probably feels like everyone's against you, so you better get on your own team so you don't feel alone. When you're on your own team, keeping the promises, you will sacrifice a lot. But I will tell you from experience that the sacrifice is worth every single moment once you realize you don't have to bear the emptiness that consumes all too much of this world.
What kind of permission do you need? To do the thing that you and I both know you really want to do? The thing that not everyone is going to approve of, but you know you're meant to do? What kind of permission do you need to get up and get after it? Yes, there's some risk, mostly just a bruised ego, but you know what's a hell of a lot worse than that? Living with the regret of inaction. Knowing the thing that you need to do, the scary steps that you have to take to grow into the person that you know you want to be, and doing nothing. So if you need it, this is your permission slip. Go do what you need to do.
It says life is not linear, it's cyclical. Accepting this allows us to flow with the process instead of resisting it, like we just said. Understand that life is cyclical. You are going to move in cycles as an individual, right? So don't get so emotionally attached to the seasons where everything feels good that you think that that's how your whole life should be forever. Because the moment it isn't that, you're gonna feel like everything's hitting the fan. Something's wrong, you're doing something wrong. You're gonna internalize that and identify with that. Just because you don't feel good doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Just because things are difficult does not mean you're going the wrong direction. No, it's a part of moving in the right direction, and you have to be willing to embrace those times. Understanding they're serving a greater purpose. You have to remind yourself of this. Understand it is serving a greater purpose. This is part of the journey, and it will not last forever.
And so many people, they need to have a 5K, a 10K. I need to have a course in front of me. I need to have something in front of me for me to get my fucking ass up and do some shit. And that used to be me. And nowadays, you know, for past 20-something years, I don't need purpose. And people miss out on this, man. The purpose, we're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you.
This worrying thing, it's the one part of my life that if I could go back, I would fix. Even the things I've worried about in my life, when they actually happened, they weren't as bad in my body and in my mind as they were when I was worrying about them. And when you worry about it, you experience it hundreds of times. Your mind doesn't know the difference between this thing you think is going to happen and something that really happens. And so the turmoil you're putting your body through and the debilitating effect it's having on your current circumstances, I actually believe that this is one of the most debilitating things you can do for your physical health, not just your mental health. And when it happens, interrupt the pattern, go change your physiology, do something to change your state. It's taking everything from your life, taking your joy, your passion, your peace, your energy, your focus, your determination, your resourcefulness. So please stop. And I'm talking to me as much as I'm talking to you. Give yourself a gift of controlling that imagination of yours, that beautiful mind of yours. Sometimes it's not about the things you need to do that make us successful. It's the things we need to stop doing that hold us back.
But I'll tell you right now, those weak habits, they gotta break. Your mindset has to be reshaped. You have to believe the odds are beatable, even when people say it's impossible. That's what I call faith. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's what it's gonna take. 24/7, 365, you gotta live it, breathe it, be it every single day. You got a conquering challenge that gets in the way, and remember, it's more about what you do and less about what you say. So if your life couldn't say one word, What would your life speak? Would it still say you about that life? Would it still say you about conquering your struggle, creating new peaks? Would it still say you about getting the most out of your life? Every moment matters, especially when you realize over 150,000 people die every night. That's 55 million people a year. Ain't none of this promised. Ain't none of this guaranteed. So the question I'll leave you with is this. When you fight your last fight, when you breathe your last breath, if this was your last year, what's the legacy that you're gonna leave? Get up and go live your dreams. Make the world respect your greatness. Make this year your year. It all starts with you.
Here are 7 thoughts you need to hear at least once in your life. Number 1, be so great, you can't be ignored. Number 2, take care of the work, and the work will take care of you. 3, growth is on the other side of discomfort. 4, failure teaches you everything you need to know to be successful. 5, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. 6, there's only one person you spend all your time with, and that's you. So do yourself a favor and be as fascinating as possible. And 7, I'd rather regret the things I did than the things I never tried.
So make this note, dreams and goals can become magnets. Dreams and goals can become magnets. And the stronger the goal, the higher the purpose, the more powerful the objective, the stronger this magnet is that pulls you that direction. Now, not only does your goals and your objectives pull you that direction, here's what they also do. They pull you through. They pull you through all kinds of down days. They pull you through a difficult time. It'll pull you through some winter of your life. Some people get lost in the confusion of the day simply because their goal is not bright enough to pull them through. One writer of ancient times said, we can walk through the valley. Even though there's shadows of death around, we walk through the valley. And here's why it's possible to walk through the valley, even though there's death and shadows and difficulties, is because we have a view of the other side of the valley.
Well, one of the greatest obstacles to success is self-doubt, is we doubt ourselves. We think maybe I'm not smart enough, or maybe I'm not old enough, or experienced enough, or educated enough. And so self-doubt holds people back. Now, the reverse of self-doubt is self-confidence. You can achieve any goal you can set for yourself. But I also say you are a thoroughly good person. You are a very good person, and you must never doubt yourself. No matter how many problems you have in life, hold on to that.
It's hard to change the world. It really is. But if you can take a reason and a purpose on your drive, your hustle, your grind, and make a dent, just creates a little bit of impact. That creates a ripple effect for the future, because you are the future.
I often ask people, what is the future that you're stepping into? Lean into the possibility of something versus looking back at the failure of something, right? I say past hurt informs future fear. So wherever we've been hurt, we tend to superimpose that as though that's what's going to happen again, and we're now trying to avoid it, which is that self-fulfilling prophecy. Versus if you can really, truly let your history be, recognize the nature of life is complete uncertainty. And so you stay open to life surprising you.
There's a famous quote about his analogy for a successful life. And the quote says that in life, there's 2 major seasons. And if you think about it like you're floating on a river, there's times where you let the water take you where it's supposed to take you. And you trust and let the river flow where it's going to take it. So there's a time for floating, but there's also a time for swimming, where you know I need to go there, and you give it all you got, because something inside of you tells you it's time.
We all have ambitions, we all have dreams and goals and desires that we want, and our culture fills us with these kind of vague hopes and dreams. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But really what gets you to where you want are daily habits. There are negative habits that you can't get rid of, but there are other habits like discipline, like working every day, like taking steps to reach your goals that are immensely liberating. And you can get rid of your bad habits through developing positive habits. The goal here is to focus less on the giant dreams and on the everyday process of changing your thinking.
The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make and you're not making them.
The fastest way to take control of your life is to stop controlling everyone around you. You have no idea how much time and energy and attention you are wasting trying to control other people. You have no idea how much energy you are burning through thinking about, worrying about, obsessing about what other people are doing, what they're not doing, what they're feeling, all of which you have zero control over.
Overthinking comes from a lack of self-trust. More specifically, you don't trust yourself to handle the big uncomfortable feelings you might feel if your overthinking fears come true. So instead, you search for control. You catastrophize and strategize. You create a plan of action, probably several, as you imagine any and everything that could possibly go wrong and exactly how you could react to avoid or minimize the hurt, right? Well, if this is the case, then you're probably frustrated and exhausted. So here's another option. Trust yourself. Make a decision, preferably one that's well-intentioned and aligns with your values. If things go according to plan, great, keep it moving. If they don't, great, keep it moving. The control and safety that you're looking for doesn't come from manipulating the external circumstances, but rather they're found in your ability to consistently show up and support yourself regardless of external outcome.
You can only build a dream as high as your foundation. And the foundation of the dream is realism. That's why people don't stay with the dream long. It's not realistic. You see, the dream is free, but the journey isn't.
You know what life A is gonna get you. You've been doing it over and over and over and getting the same results. You want something different, you gotta do something different. It's that simple. You want different, you gotta do different. You want better, you gotta be better. You want change, you gotta change.
The true horror of existence is not the fear of death, but the fear of life. It is the fear of waking up each day to face the same struggles, the same disappointments, the same pain. It is the fear that nothing will ever change, that you are trapped in a cycle of suffering that you cannot escape. And in that fear, there is a desperation, a longing for something, anything, to break the monotony, to bring meaning to the endless repetition of days.
You listen to other people, to their opinions, to their wildness. It'll beat you up and you'll never be able to reach the goals that you want to reach in life. So the answer is to become internally oriented, to know what you want, to know what your goals are, to know what your desires are, to know what makes you unique, and to put your focus on that and not on other people's expectations of you.
And remember, before you do something special, just do something.
And when people say to me, "Oh, I can't predict my future," I'm in the unknown, and I always say the best way to predict your future is to create it. Not from the known, but from the unknown. What thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? What behaviors do you want to demonstrate in one day? The act of rehearsing them mentally, closing your eyes, and rehearsing the action.
Sometimes life is asking you to stop being so worried about everything that's gonna go wrong, when the reality is you're the one manifesting the thing that you don't want to happen because you're choosing to believe that that's what's gonna happen. It's always gonna feel scary to your ego to do something that it's never done before. That's what the fear actually is. So it just draws you back to going back to thinking that, I don't know if I should do this, when the reality is there's an internal part of you that knows it's time for change. Just learn to trust it. Because you will come into realization after you make the decision that it was the right decision. And you'll feel how it actually helped you let go of that identity that's been fucking dragging you down into a reality that you've already outgrown.
If your definition of success is win or lose, giving everything you've got and growing or learning along the way, then you're setting yourself up for success. I really think the biggest cheat code in life is just going after it and not being concerned of whether or not you fail at one specific task. Instead, understanding the big picture, what your long-term goal is, and knowing if you keep driving forward and never fucking quit, in the end you will succeed.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." So yes, staying true to yourself is a powerful act of rebellion. Your authenticity becomes your greatest strength in an environment that pressures you to fit in.
I prefer to be the kind of person who steps up and faces the challenge than the kind of person who stays below the line and avoids challenge. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want? How badly do you want it? How much are you willing to suffer? Those three questions our high performers face every day.
Don't aim for happiness, aim for purpose. Happiness is temporary. It comes and it goes like the waves of the ocean. So enjoy it as it comes and smile as it fades away. Purpose touches your soul. Now, pursuing it doesn't always make you happy, and a lot of times it actually makes you frustrated and confused. It also sometimes brings you joy and adventure, but it is complex like a Renaissance poem. There's ups and there's downs, there's twists and turns, stagnation and chaos. It is pure, and that is the journey in which you will be fulfilled.
You only have one chance at this life. You do know that, right? And if you are always playing that supporting role, as Ed Milet says, when the credits roll at the end of your movie, at the end of your life, it's just gonna say supporting actor number 3, and it'll have your name. Don't you wanna be the main star? Don't you wanna be the key character in your life story? Don't you want to make the best decisions?
Human beings have the ability, unlike animals, because we have the ability to create our reality. And my reality is as I perceive it. You have the ability to create your reality. What you see here in your head is what you will see as your exterior. It's always like that. I walk into a party, I say, "Man, I don't like that guy." You know what? I'm right. You walk in and say, "That's a wonderful guy." You're right too. We're both right.
Starting is the hardest part, but you've already done that. Most people never even get to this point. They let fear of failure, rejection, or embarrassment hold them back. But you're already ahead of the game because you took action. Don't waste time worrying about people who doubt you. They're just projecting their own insecurities. The ones who laugh at you for starting are the ones who are too afraid to start themselves. Keep pushing. Real ones will recognize your effort, and the rest, they don't matter.
So every time you show up and every time you're on point, if you do that on the regular, even if every day you're not even making 1% improvements, you're making 0.01% improvements, over time, those will add up. And those will add up exponentially. So on a day-by-day basis, I mean, you're not gonna expect anything crazy, but you can become completely unrecognizable.
You do whatever the hell you want. Just do it well. That's important. And don't do any damn thing that you will be ashamed of doing tomorrow, isn't it? What other people say doesn't matter, but you should not be ashamed of what you have done, isn't it so? This much you must keep, this much pride and freedom you must keep in your life. It doesn't matter, the whole world says you're wrong, but you are not ashamed of what you have done. That much you must always keep in your life. If that one thing, if you give up, I'm telling you, you'll live a very poor life. You may have everything, but you'll have nothing.